Hello Divine Being, my name is Juha Riverhill and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to speak about what is spiritual power and is there spiritual power in the world? I came across the idea that there's a spiritual power already in an early age. I was probably 10, 12 years old and my mother had some maybe shoulder aches, and my uncle came to us, and he asked that does my mother want to be healed, and he has a healing hand, so he started to heal her, and then he asked me to join. Come on, come and heal your mother. And I was in the opposite side of him, and I started to feel energy and some kind of a ticklish feeling in my fingers and palms, and then I realized that there's an energy in the world. That was already so early in my life. But later on, when I started to read about spiritual books, there was a lot about talking about this spiritual power and power over matter. And when we are talking about power, or it's like a Jedi power, power over matter, then we are always talking about something that we get power over this physical form. So we can change something in a form. Firstly, power, but it secondly gives us a responsibility. And what unconditional love and his masters of light or brotherhood of light is checking all the time is that when they are giving, they have authority to give us powers. And how we can get them it's really simple. But keeping them isn't. When you are helping people, when you are doing the energy cleansing, for example, it arises your spiritual power or power over matter really high and quickly. But all the time, when we are gaining more power, we need to think about that we are also responsible of what's going on, what's going to happen. And that is something that in a side you need to develop all the time. If you have a feeling that you want to help, you cannot do it because you want the spiritual powers. Or if you have a feeling that I would like to have spiritual senses, yes, it's a fine idea, but masters and unconditional love will give you the spiritual senses and powers after they see that you're worth it. Fortunately. Because if we arise our spiritual power here on earth in a person who has ego person and mind and all that lower self set in us, it means that we are vulnerable all the time to do something stupid. Mistakes can be done, but if you purposely start to use or misuse your energies, they will vanish. Masters just simply take them away. And then after that, if you're still trying to do similar things, they are going in the other dimension. You could call it side dimension. So it's pure illusion. And from psychological perspective, you can look at it as somebody is getting psychotic. That's why there's all the time two little challenges for spiritual being or spiritual person is to check out that you stay in a reality and same time staying in a love. Because if you gain and arise your love ability so that you can live in your heart, act through heart and love, then you can keep your spiritual energies and they will rise nicely and you can help more people. But at the same time, we need to stay in our senses. We need to stay grounded. And I say it again, we need to stay grounded. And those are the two most valuable things. Staying love, staying in our senses. We cannot start to think about when we gain this kind of a spiritual power over matter, we cannot start to feel that we are lords of the universe. There's only one Lord. From my perspective at least, there is only one that is unconditional love, that has all the power and the wisdom. We are only here, and I'm only here, channeling what unconditional wants you to hear. And when we are talking about power over matter, what can I do with it? Well, one first rule, don't harm anybody. More simply said than done, isn't it? But when you're thinking, when you're lowering, let's say, focusing your consciousness into your heart and listening what your heart is saying and doing and acting through your heart, you cannot go wrong. And what can you do with that kind of an energy? Well, you can do healing. If a person has some illness or sickness or some physical pain, you can always ask unconditional love to come and help and come and heal with you. But always when we start to heal, when we start to use the energy, we have to connect to it. Otherwise, if we just open our arms and, let's start to heal, there are a lot of hand healers in the world, sort of. And part of the people that are healing, they are never asking that unconditional love or the love and light energy would come and heal that person. They're just starting opening a channel, and they can be coming through many kind of energies. Many kind of energies. So it's always important to be love, be in your heart, and ask and connect to divine, to unconditional love or light, that shall we heal together this person. It's the same thing when we are talking about channeling. It's also some kind of energy movement. And it's a thing where you can use your powers and energy to channel to somebody or some group healing words, healing energy. And then it's always the risk that it's coming from somewhere that you don't want it to come from. So in the early ages, when I was dealing with that matter, I noticed that there's many kind of beings trying to enter my field and talking to me, and I started to make the difference or do the discrimination that what kind of an energy is coming through. And it's really important when you are gaining powers that you develop your discrimination. And that is called energy discrimination. And when you're doing that, you are able to know, and when you are practicing your senses so that you can make the difference between negative and positive energies. And there are a lot of beings that are so powerful that they can make the veil or the curtain between you and them, and they can fake. They can say or trying to express that they are loving beings, but they're probably not. So these all kind of things are there, and also when you are gaining more power, you get more responsibility about what you are saying to other people, And when you are practicing, use words, the angelic words, like loving words, not destructive but constructive words. Something that builds up the love and light, not the hatred or divideness or whatever. And about the healing energy and the energy, the power, the love and light, it's something that always comes down to one question, the responsibility. We all make mistakes, yes, but you can forgive yourself, so does unconditional love. But if you have a feeling that you would like to use your energies for good, then you can start to ask your spirit guides and unconditional love's masters that, will you help me that I can help others? And when you are asking it long enough, they say, yes, why not? Go on this, and they might give you some guiding that, go to that course and go to that website or whatever, or listen radio, open the radio now. They can give you a little tips and hints in a way. And then one important thing is that when you are doing and acting from love, when you are doing loving things, you always create more love. It's really important. So when you are doing something, saying something, acting from your heart, acting from love, eventually, if you don't see it even yet, it will create ultimately love. And what can you do then with these energies? You can do healing, yes, you can do channeling, but then also you can do the energy cleansing. That is I think, one of the most important parts of spiritual development. Many spiritual directions and even religions and some kind of a spiritual movements, they don't focus on energy healing or energy cleansing. And when we are talking about energy cleansing is something we can do in our past lives, because many of our past lives still affects us in this very moment when we are here. And there might be some energies like curses, evil eyes. There might be also some, as we call it, swearings, programs, and contracts. What are we talking about swearings? It means that you are swearing, I swear. We say in many moments that if somebody is saying, are you really talking in serious? Yes, I swear it so. So this kind of a phrase we use, and we don't know how much it creates. Swearing something, making oaths, making contracts between people, they create a lot of things. And they don't cut in the middle of reincarnation when you go back to the heavens and reborn again. There's not going to be any cut. When we come in this life again, the next life, and reincarnating here on earth, or well, somewhere else is different. Let's not talk about that now, but when we are doing that, those commitments, let's say, between different souls, they are still permitted. And when they are, it means that we are coming together with those people still, even after 100 lives. We might meet these people, and even if we wouldn't want even, we just come close with them, so we can make the unity with them, making oneness with them. But when we are talking about energy cleansing, it also means that there are different kind of energies and beings in the astral field. Because around us, as a human beings, we have physical body, we have etheric body, which is 5 let's say 2 inches outside of our physical body. And then we have, let's say, from that we have 15, what is it called? Maybe 3-4 inches we have astral body. And when we are talking about those bodies, those are also in the world. There's this physical existence, then there's etheric existence, and outside that there is a third, let's say, physical existence, which is astral world. And in all these dimensions, and these are the basic physical levels or layers of existence, and in all those levels, there are many kind of creatures, beings, and humans, human-like beings, and there are many kind of different energies and beings. And now, all of those energies are not positive. Some of them are here to tease us. Some energies are here to frame us. And some energies are here to tease us also. And not teasing in a positive way. They are here to make us feel bad. And why do we have all these kind of energies around us? Because as a human beings, if we would not have this, let's say, dualism in the world, good and bad, beautiful and ugly, good smell, bad smell, if we wouldn't have this dualism, physical person, being as we are, we would not develop. So we need a little resistance. If we don't have any friction, if we don't have any resistance, we cannot develop. So that's why we have dualism. We have different kind of beings there to develop us. And I usually call those kind of beings teachers. We have positive teachers and we have negative teachers. And these kind of beings, like in the astral world, they can come and lurk you. They're like sirens. And they can come and close to you and saying, oh, I'm a light teacher. I am a light being and I want to help you. And in the other hand, they are not. They are trying to lurk you into illusions. And that is one great lesson for human beings, as we are. And there are many kind of energies that are coming into your house. If you are not blessing your house, you are not doing the proper, let's say, energy cleansing, and then after that, making your space your own space, because your home is your space. And usually when you move into a new house or apartment, you're not doing any other cleaning, but you're taking cloth in your hand and some soap, and then you wash it away. But it doesn't take any things away from etheric and astral level. And there are also some forms. They can be the place where you're living. There might be living already. There might have been thousands of years people living in there. All their thoughts, energies are still around, and there must be always, must is a wrong word, but there's usually a lot of energy after people have lived somewhere. They have a lot of emotions. They have a lot of different kind of programs, and they are still lurking in your yard or in your house, really easily. And many other people have lived in your house, probably. And many generations, maybe. And it's really important to have your own space, your own energy when you are living. Because if there's a low vibration in an area where you live or in your house, that is one of the major blockages in a spiritual development, if you don't do the proper cleansing. Yes, some people are using incense and some other essential oils, and they are burning them in a little fire lamp and whatever, or they might use sage. And those are actually coming from early ages when we had shamanic things and so on. They do the cleansing in a certain level. I would say they are cleansing the etheric layer. But then when we are talking about astral layer, there are such beings that would laugh and they would enjoy the sage. And those kind of beings, they don't mind about sage or some other smokes you are trying to burn in your house. They're comfortable and they are nice to do. Yes, they are, but I've been doing now energy cleansing for 30 years, almost. And while I've been doing it, I've been noticing that more you find out from it, more there is to clean. But when you are talking about the basic level of cleaning, it means that I'm checking always the vibration of the house. And I have a scale from 0 to both directions, minus and plus energies. And when I'm checking the vibration in a house, that tells me how clean spiritually or from energy cleansing perspective your house is. And that's also something we do. And when we are talking about real cleansing, it means that you need to have that spiritual power over matter, and then you need to have knowledge. What kind of a different energies and beings are existing in a world or in an astral world? Most of those things that you need to do the cleansing for are located in an astral level. An astral level is always tricky because most of the astral level is illusion. There's all the people's illusions and lower collective consciousness where the human beings' consciousness is laying, and it's so tricky world that in one point, when I realized that there is a dualism in the world, I knew it and I understood that astral level is not to be church for. And I did that many years. I was connecting with many kind of beings there, and I have to say that I would rather focus in energy, in a everyday thinking to higher dimensions, higher layers, like mental or nirvanic and so on. Higher dimensions that are in a world of being, not in a world of creation. Because from 1 to 7 layers in existence are in a world of creation. And there are many kind of beings and dualism exists. But when you want to focus your energies, your powers, where you get your powers is from the world of being. That's dimensions or levels 8 to 12. And that's where I wanted to focus. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and may unconditional love bless your day.